We're recording. Good evening, everybody. At least for us, it's evening. This is my good friend Mike with the Allen Americans. Mike, if you could do me a favor and introduce yourself to everybody, tell us a little bit about how you got into the sports industry, your background, and what your passions are.
Well, that'll take up the next 45 minutes. Mike Waddell, president of the Allen Americans of the ECHL. My second stint in the ECHL. The first one was exactly 30 years ago, so kind of a boomerang in the world of minor league hockey, but spent 26 years in college athletics and 4 years in professional sports. And I've run a pro football team, the Alliance of American Football. 2 years I was a vice president with NASCAR. And then over the last year, I've worked in World Team Tennis and now back to the ECHL. So got back to the ECHL, and a quick story. After I was a COVID layoff in March of 2020, earlier this year on March the 6th, I got the call that because I was making a fairly big salary with World Team Tennis, that they had to cut some costs. And then 14 days later, I was interviewing for the second time with the owner of the Allen Americans, a guy by the name of Jack Galati, who is also known as the serial entrepreneur. He started over 44 companies in his career, and he gave me the opportunity to lead this team in the ECHL. We're in a great market, the number 5 media market in America here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and it's a total rebuild. I didn't anticipate that when I took this job. I thought it was in pretty good shape, but as is often the case, sometimes you get under the hood, you find out that things aren't always as they seem, and what looked like it was in pretty good state really needed to be wiped clean. So we've really cleaned out the front office, save for our all-star, which is our vice president of broadcasting and communication, Tommy Daniels, who's been with the team since day one as the play-by-play guy, and our IT guy, Kamen Kessler, who's a Michigan State grad and a Duke fan for some reason. So that's a character flaw that we have to explore in some deep therapy. But we're excited about where we're going as an organization and looking forward to getting back on the ice on December 4th.
Yeah, no, that's pretty awesome. I mean, what you guys have been doing, I don't know if anybody follows, and if you don't, you should follow them on LinkedIn. Since taking over the team, have shown a lot of moving forward, a lot more connections, especially with some of your new partnerships, which is pretty impressive considering the time and how everything is. And, talk a little bit more about how you rebuilt your team and what you were looking for in terms of culture and so forth, because a lot of people are going to be hearing that buzzword culture as things start opening up and as teams start rebuilding. As a president of a team, what are some things that you looked for as you were building?
Yeah, it's a great question, Allison. I think when it comes down to it, I'll go back to my first ever boss, Bill Coffey, who was the owner of the Greensboro Monarchs of the ECHL back in the early 90s, late 80s. He founded the team as one of the founding fathers of the ECHL, is in the Hall of Fame. But when I called and told him I had taken this job, first of all, he said, "What the hell's wrong with you?" He was just kidding. But he said, if you're going to go into the ECHL, make sure you have fun. And that really is kind of my MO. I am not cut from the mold as the other ADs whenever I was in college athletics and was a director of athletics and worked in the Big East, worked in the SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten. I worked in a lot of leagues, but I never was like everybody else. I always was the guy who took the risk, who was the entrepreneur, who thought outside the box, a terrible cliche as it is. But you have to think differently than everybody around you. And that's what we're doing right here. But I'd say that really the foundational model that we're following right now is the KISS method, and that's called keep it simple, stupid. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. This is a COVID year. It's unlike anything that anybody's really ever been through before. So we have to, I'm going to use all the cliches tonight, Allison.
It's fine.
It's Tuesday night cliche time. But it's say what you mean what you say, follow through. And that's one thing that we found out, whether it's with our season ticket members, we have to provide a great value to the people who want to make that uncommon investment here in 2020, 2021, and go in for all 36 home games. With our corporate partners, we have to, if we say we're going to do it in a contract, we have to do that. It's a revolutionary thought, but it's something that had not been done here. And it's to an alarming rate. It's almost like you don't look forward to going to meet new people for the first time, former partners, current partners, because you're going to hear tough things. But it's also an opportunity. And I think as a leader, you have to seek out that opportunity. You can't run away from the problems. You have to run towards the fire. And that's what we're doing. And everybody that we brought into our culture, going back to that word that you mentioned, has that attitude. They're thirsty for that opportunity to serve our stakeholders, season ticket members, business partners, just people in the community, so we can be good stewards. And if we can do that, keep it very simple, do what we say that we're going to do. When we get back to whatever the new normal will be, Allison, hopefully sooner than later, I think that will pay great dividends for the brand of the Allen Americans.
I think that runs across all sports in general too. Is the hardest part is we have to remember, as a sports community, we have such a unique platform, Mike, that we can make such a difference in terms of morale, in terms of overall community support, and just business support, because so many people are out there floundering. They just don't know what to do. They don't know how to react. I mean, think about the first time that you met in person in the office with some of your staff members. It's so awkward. You don't know how to look them in the eye. You don't know, like, do I get too close? I want to hug them because I'm excited to see them, but it's like everybody is the cootie monster or something, like it's just,
Yep. It's tough, but we really haven't. We've been back in the office since June 1st. The day that I started, one of our new hires, the first person I did hire as a part of our new team, Lizzie Stevens, who is a recent graduate of Ohio University, the #1 sport administration program in the world. Just got those rankings back, proud Bobcat alum, but hired Lizzie. She started the first day I did. And so she saw the first 28 days. Mm-hmm. And then we furloughed some people. And then 2 weeks after that, we stripped it down, used that Independence Day holiday to really get in here and get some solid investigative work done, and I guess do some forensic investigations, and found out we needed to make some organizational changes. And then we added in our finance guy, Kevin Sykes-Gilbert. We've added in Devron Jeffers as our new Chief Revenue Officer, and then we added in Brittany Kucha as our Senior Director of Ticket Sales and Service. And from there, we brought back some people, but we've not been able to bring back everybody we want. We won't bring back everybody we had. We will operate this year at about 50 to 60%, if we're lucky, of what our staff was a year ago, and we will build it back. Slowly but surely, and definitely with confidence. We'll build it back the right way, and we're lucky to be in Texas, because some people aren't as fortunate. But especially the teams here in the west of the ECHL, Wichita, Tulsa, Kansas City, Utah, Idaho, Rapid City. I mean, we're in the western states, and thank goodness the spread hasn't been as prevalent, or at least here in Texas, where the spread has been bad. We've been able to curtail and move forward under the leadership of our governor, Greg Abbott, and the people here in the city of Allen, which is a suburb of Dallas, if you don't know. We're about 30 minutes from JR's ranch, right down the road at South Fork, and it's a great place to be. But we're also fortunate to have Jerry Jones as our neighbor. And the Cowboys are going to be aggressive getting after it. FC Dallas and the Hunt family has done a really good job in MLS of getting back after it. So too of the Dallas Mavericks, even though they're in the bubble down in Orlando, and then the Texas Rangers over in Arlington. So we're getting back after it slowly but surely. Hopefully we'll shake off the cooties, and everybody will be hunky-dory as we drop the puck come
right.
What seems to be December 18th. That's our
Well,
target.
that's what we're hoping anyway, because I know definitely we're all looking forward to having some kind of normalcy. That's for sure. Do you now, once everything starts to get back to normal and you start hiring to full capacity, let's say starting to look at that March of next year, what are ways that newer graduates or people that have been in the industry that maybe they've been with the same old for 20 plus years? What are things that they can do that would make them stand out to somebody like yourself that, as a president in your shoes, would say, you know what? I need to have a conversation with this person because I think they're the right fit for my program.
I appreciate that question, Allison, because over the last 3 years, I've hired a new staff in NASCAR at Richmond Raceway. I've hired a complete staff, an entire front office with the Alliance of American Football. I've rebuilt a World Team Tennis organization, and I've now done the same right here with the top AA league and minor league hockey in the ECHL. And I can tell you, it's a very simple equation. Number one, if you have a LinkedIn page, make sure your information is accurate, that you're telling your story, and that you're active and engaged. I do not subscribe to the theory that I've seen on some Twitter chats that Twitter is a better place to define your professional brand than LinkedIn. I think that's a real bad idea, because people my age are not looking to hire people because they have a good Twitter account. In fact, it's probably going to do you more harm than good. Clean up your Instagram account too, because we're going to look. Okay. And then I want to see, if you're using a service like Teamworks Online, I want to make sure that you can actually spell your name correctly and that your resume is devoid of typos. And I can tell you, whether it's an internship or a senior leadership position, it's amazing how many people screw that up. It's like on the SAT. You got 400 points from getting your name right. A lot of people wouldn't be starting out with 400 points. And there's some very smart people out there. But then it's being able to present yourself and to show a track record of achievement. And you can be an entry-level person, a mid-level, or a senior-level person. But if you can't show that you're going to be a difference maker for me, I'm probably not going to talk to you. If I can't get that from your resume, don't give me a lot of fluff. I'm the king of fluff. I'm a marketing broadcasting guy. I can BS with you all day long.
Yep,
Okay?
yep,
So
you
don't
can.
throw the bullshit at me.
Right.
Okay? Show me something. I took over this and I took it from here and I moved it forward to here. Or I guess in the screen, I moved it from here and I moved it to there. You got to move things forward. You got to be able to show that you're a difference maker, and you got to be able to be more than a one-trick pony. I don't need somebody that's going to be an all-star third baseman or an all-star catcher here in the ECHL. I need somebody that's a utility player. On any given day, they can play the outfield, they can be the DH, they can be the bullpen catcher, or they can be the manager. Because there's going to be a day that I might be out sick. I need somebody to take over. I don't need the entire operation to fall flat. And that's why I like to hire people who have maybe been at smaller places. I can tell you in my own case, I was absolutely miserable as a professional in college athletics when I got to the SEC and the Big Ten level. I made better money, but I was much happier at the Southern Conference with App State, or at Army in the Patriot League, and then Conference USA, or even at the Mid-American Conference level with the University of Akron. I was thrilled to death to be at a place where I could do a variety of different things. And I got those opportunities because somebody saw in me, from my unpaid internship where I was literally a slave at the ECHL with the Greensboro Monarchs. I did everything. I drove the bus. I did radio broadcasts. I sold. There wasn't anything I didn't do. But I got that opportunity because it was a small staff. We just had an intern the other day. Started here 10 days ago. It was an unpaid internship. But their person they reported to changed. So they said, well, if I don't know who my supervisor is going to be, I'm going to leave. I said, good riddance, because they sent an email. They didn't talk to me. They didn't show any type of forethought. And those type of people, good riddance. I
Yeah.
can't be around them. I need people who are not worried about the job that they're getting with me. I need the people who are thinking ahead to, I'm going to use this job and I'm going to be able to accomplish A, B, and C. And then I'm going to be able to go forward, because I will kick you out of this organization after 3 years. I don't want people who are looking to put down roots in AA hockey. If you think this is the pinnacle of success, it's time to go, because I don't, and the owner doesn't. The owner, he has goals and objectives that he wants to meet. I have goals and objectives that I want to meet. But number one is, and it's a long answer because you gave me a very involved question right there. Yeah, I want people who want to go places, and the only people that go places are the ones that accomplish things.
Mhm.
If you come in here, you might spend 18 months, 24, 36 months. But when you're here, make sure you're doing something. Make
Yeah.
sure that you've accomplished something and you're leaving behind a legacy, because you come in here for 6 months and say, well, I've found another job. I don't bemoan people when they leave, but go. I will celebrate you on the way out. I don't believe in throwing goodbye parties. Your legacy is your goodbye party. We should have been having fun all the way around, but that's it. It's very basic, but just know you
Mhm.
can't bullshit the bullshitter. And I have thrown more bullshit in a 32-year career than most people will in a lifetime.
You
And
know,
so,
I 100% agree with you too. You know, it's something I was talking about in another interview earlier today. It's, I think one of the coolest things as a leader and as a manager or president or whatever your title is, because we all know, quite frankly, titles in minor leagues are just titles. Like,
that's
they're
right.
just to help you when you go to your sponsorship positions or sponsorship sales calls to make sure you get a better foot in the door, which is the worst expression ever. And I hate using that expression. But that being said, the coolest thing to ever watch and witness is your youngest staff members and how they grow. Where is it that they're going next? Where is it and what is it that they're able to do to help them become the better version of themselves and really truly grow in their own character, in their own position? One of the proudest moments that I have each year that with the team that I was with is on opening day. You work your tail off until opening day and you're busting your tail. Everybody is, running around like mad people. And you know this too, because the moment that the national anthem starts, you have a chance to close your eyes, take a deep breath, look around, and be beyond proud of every moment that your staff did to lead up to that moment. Now, going forward, as soon as the puck is dropped, the first pitch is thrown, and whatever, it's no holds bar, shit's hitting the fan, and we're all going everywhere. However, for that brief moment, that sense of pride of what your staff has accomplished is the coolest thing that anybody in our industry gets to experience every single year, time in and time out. And it sucks that so many people were robbed of that moment this year.
98 seconds of peace. And the home of the brave is when you start to pucker up again. I remember the first time I ran a full 26-2 marathon. I'm sitting there, my wife, my two kids are there with me at the corral where I was getting ready to start. It was the Air Force Marathon in Dayton, Ohio. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, man, this is cool because I'm watching this F-15 come over the top. The strike eagles are going over and all this. And then the national anthem is there and I'm starting to go back and forth in my neck like I'm playing football again. First time I'd really gotten that juice rush. And I think the first marathon I ran was in 2008. So it would have been about 18 years since I played a down of college football. And then my daughter said she saw this look come across my face and it was the same thing like you described when
Yeah.
the anthem is over and now we got to actually
Game time.
and then I was saying, now I got to run 26.2 miles. What the hell was I thinking? But it all comes to that point. You got to be thankful for the journey. You got to enjoy the journey. And that's, again, back to your point about culture. We got to have the right people here.
Mm-hmm.
We may have had one or two people that have come to us and interviewed with us, or in some cases even come to work with us. And after they're here for about 45 days, they say, man, this working for a team thing, I like the sport, but I didn't realize it was like this. So where's my staff? Well, you don't have a staff at this level. You are your staff. My staff is my two other personalities, and the three of us get along really well together.
Yeah.
But here it is on a Tuesday night, and I get ready that I have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday still to go. Our hours are 8:30 to 5:30 with the Allen Americans. But do you think that I just start working at 8:30 in the morning? Do you think I quit thinking about it? If you don't go to bed thinking about this stuff and wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat when you're, we say it's 112 days away from opening night. But really, if you take out all the holidays and all the weekends, well, we're probably like 69 days till the start of training camp. And that's scary. because there are so many intangibles right now with COVID. You've gone through it with minor league baseball as you got ready for a season that unfortunately didn't happen. We're hoping our season does go forward, but there are so many protocols. I mean, I have no doubt that the Allen Americans and the Western teams will play this year, but for a lot of places, even at, they have the ability to bring in 150 people into a building right now, including their players and off-ice officials. They can't make that work. And, it's tough enough in minor league sports to make it work when you're at no juice. But we said this the other day, and I'll cut off my answer here. But we said it, this is really a total circus right now. I mean, it's a crackhead circus right now. But the beautiful thing is, when we sit back on September 23rd of 2021, we're going to say, man, it was a lot better to be. Look how far ahead we are right now than we were a year ago. Look to where we've come. I took pictures the very first day I walked in here on June the 1st, 6:30 in the morning. I took pictures of how the office looked, how, people's desks were and thoughts like that. And I tell you, it's going to make a really great before picture.
I think it's great.
The after won't look anything like this.
No, it'll be piles of paper everywhere, computers broken, bobbleheads, half ripped hats, all kinds of stuff all over the place.
Oh, it looked like that. It looked like Fred Sanford's for Sanford and Son, a 1970s show. It looked like a junkyard, but we've cleaned it up, and we're putting a fresh coat of paint on the walls. We launched our website back on September 9th, and it's a brand new way of looking at things. We don't look like anything else it must be a Dallas thing, because Jerry Jones doesn't look like any other NFL team, and the Allen Americans don't look like any other ECHL team. I don't think anybody looks like Mark Cuban's Dallas Mavericks, and look what the Stars have done this year in their run through the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the Texas Rangers and Globe Life Park. It must be something about Dallas, because none of us want to be like anybody else, and if we look like everybody else, then we've really failed. And that goes back. That kind of comes full circle. If you look like anybody else in the applicant pool, you didn't stand out.
Right.
I can tell you about people over the last 32 years of hiring people and trying to be hired, and it's the risks that you take, it's the chances that you take. It's I remember one time I applied for a job. I sent my resume tape whenever I was a broadcaster. I sent a resume tape in to the guy who was running the Wake Forest Sports Network. And I sent my resume tape along with some tins of caviar, 2 tins of Beluga caviar, and 2 bottles of Dom Perignon. And I didn't get the job, but I made an impression. And the guy remembered me, and we've been friends ever since. And there have been other opportunities when we've been able to work together. But, if you don't do something to stand out, look, you can't buy a job. You either have the talent or you don't.
Right.
You can't fake the goods. But people remember people who are original. Don't be cliche.
No, exactly. So are you absolutely cool if people go ahead and reach out to you on LinkedIn and introduce themselves and so forth? So I will make sure, guys, that I put Mike's contact information, his direct link for LinkedIn. And thank you so much. You have been a wealth of knowledge. Please feel better. And we appreciate having you on the show today.
I always feel good when I can talk to folks like you, Allison. You're a great professional, and look forward to seeing where you land as you move forward on your journey. And you definitely have the juice. And one day we're going to work together. Hopefully I can get up to your standards, and you'll hire me one day. I want to be that. My last job. Here's my last job. My last job in sports needs to be working for you, and I want to be the assistant general manager in charge of mound maintenance and fun. I just want to greet people out front. Okay, I'm not wearing a yellow tux and a top hat. That's not my style. I want to be Mike. I want to go in and check on people. I like to eat hot dogs, and I like to get the clay ready to go on the mound.
Perfect.
And I don't need to make a lot of money. Give me a jersey, unlimited hot dogs. I'm ready to go. I'm
mental note. I got you.
You got